Joining us now is former Speaker of the House, Bronwyn Bishop. Bronwyn, great to have you on. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Well, he seems pretty keen after hearing what he said. Is Andrew Hastie a better alternative to Susan Lee?
Well, he's certainly a future leader in my book. He's made it quite clear that Susan Lee is the leader, and he's giving her a go, as I've said all along, give her a go. But he's staking out his territory. He's saying, yes, I'm prepared to lead, and yes, I can handle it from Western Australia, and I'm sure he can. Anyone who's been in the battlefield in Afghanistan, I'm sure can manage the trip from Perth to Canberra.
Just quickly, who would be your preference, Susan Lee or Andrew Hastie?
Well, it's not a competition at this stage.
But if you had to choose?
Well, I think I'm prepared to give Susan a go. I think that's only reasonable. But I'm pleased to see that Andrew Hastie has put his hand up and said, definitely, I'm prepared to lead.
Just quickly, how long do you give Susan Lee a go? I mean, she said she'll take 12 months to work out her energy policy. How long is long enough to figure out whether she cuts the mustard?
Here's where the crunch is coming, isn't it? Because there is no more urgent question than energy in this country. No more urgent question. The fact of the matter is that every aspect of our daily lives is negatively impacted by this pursuit of net zero in this country. When we're blessed with boundless energy sources, we are picking the most expensive, disruptive and damaging of all because of ideology. So Andrew Hastie has gone on the record. He's against net zero. And let me point out that every time the coalition went to an election and said no to net zero, no to just renewables, we won every time. Even in 2010, we won, except for 2 renegade Nats. So it's important that to then note when Morrison had a backflip and suddenly caved into, I think it was 13 moderates, lefties, wets, whatever they are, and went off to Glasgow, we lost. And the disastrous loss in 2025 was once again because although there'd been this floated idea of nuclear power, it was never prosecuted during an election. There was no commitment to get rid of net zero, so it was a non-contest.
Well, you bring us beautifully to New South Wales because the party is already in a mess and now a leadership challenge seems imminent. It's been reported today leader Mark Speakman's leadership is in doubt after Goulburn MP Wendy Tuckerman resigned from Shadow Cabinet after the party voted through a net zero bill, Bronwyn, which would have expanded the Energy Minister's ability to fast-track renewable projects. The fact the New South Wales Liberal leader backed net zero is good reason for them to make a change, is it not?
Well, full credit to Wendy Tuckerman. She stood up and said, I'm not having a bar of your front bench anymore. You've done the wrong thing by my constituents and the rest of the people in New South Wales. It's like the ghost of the former Mr Keane is still hanging about like a bad smell. And quite frankly, Mr Speakman has brought this upon himself. There seems to have been some sort of subterfuge not to alert the party room to what was going on and thinking they could flick it through. I'm sorry, it doesn't work like that.
So you think he has to go?
Well, I was fascinated the other day when somebody did a survey, an interview. Nobody knew who the hell he was.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny because he claims to have been undermined by anonymous sources. He's anonymous. He
is anonymous. He's the invisible man of New South Wales politics.
Mind you, only 49 out of 100 knew who Minns was too, which I thought was a bit of a worry. But nonetheless, the fact of the matter is that the New South Wales opposition has to lift its game. And under Mr Speakman, they're not doing it.
No, that's very clear. Now, look, we've got to talk about who I think is the biggest bozo in the cabinet, in Anthony Albanese's cabinet. We've got to talk about Chris Bowen, Bronwyn. Here he was on social media today peddling more lies. Have a look at this.
At the last election, the Liberals and Nationals told Australia that nuclear was the way to deal with climate change. Their plan having been so comprehensively rejected by the Australian people, now they're walking away from climate action altogether. Now, to justify this, they're telling us that Australia is doing more than the rest of the world. So let's quickly go through a few facts. Last year, 92.5% of all new electricity in the world was renewable. So to say the rest of the world isn't doing anything is a lie. 2, right now, 84% of the world's GDP is covered by net zero commitments. And third, just recently, for example, renewables overtook coal as the largest source of electricity for India.
Dear oh dear, we thought we'd do some fact checking ourselves. Coal generates actually over 74% of India's electricity, and renewable energy accounts for more than 30% of the world's electricity. So complete contradiction there. Bronwyn, the Minister, what on earth is he on about again?
Well, I did a bit of research too. Do you know China has 1,195 coal-fired power stations? Mm-hmm. It generates 50% of the world's electricity.
Wow.
Australia has 18 coal-fired power stations and wants to shut them all down. China is building more coal-fired power stations, as is India, as is the United States. Nuclear is in the mix of every country. He boasts that the UK has now shut its coal-fired power stations, but it's got nuclear power. And a hefty proportion of their energy comes from that nuclear power. The man can't lie straight in bed. He is a fool. You watch Question Time and you just watch him. It is a clown show. It seriously is. And until we solve the question of us using our fossil fuels for our benefit so that we can have cheap power, so that we can again build a manufacturing sector, never mind this policy that they carry on with, the percentage of our economy, which is now manufacturing, is 5.9. It is the lowest of all time, forced down by this Labor government. It's happened on their watch. It's happened since they've been elected. Now, we cannot do this. We have to have the capacity to make things in this country. We have to have the capacity to make what we used to call elaborately transformed manufactures, so that we've got a value-added capacity which goes out into the worldwide trading mechanism. And to have Albanese simply pushing more and more of our trade into China, which is already dominating our trade, when China exports far more to us than we do to them, and they've already demonstrated that they can kill off part of our trade anytime they like. Albanese comes back with this trite expression, oh, we'll agree with them, but we'll disagree when we must. When? When are we going to disagree with them? When they shoot missiles at us, perhaps we'll disagree with them?
Yeah,
I think that's where the disagreement will come.
Good point.
Bronwyn Bishop, it's always a delight to have you on the program. Thanks for joining us.
Great pleasure.